It's the Type QQ channel. It's the Tawashi, Chapter 4. Trying to capture Chapter 5. We're getting there. And at least the takeaway from the last go was that we can get there. Suffered a bit at the end with with just the sort of the bosses there, the review bosses, but it wasn't without its failures early on. So hopefully, we can learn from that, not to prep for stage 5 too much, or at least that bomb monkey area. I mean, it wouldn't be bad to just temporarily get something for that time anyway, but I'm not so sure that's really going to be... I don't really think that's the hurdle. Certainly not worth, prepping stage 4 for it as well. I think that's a bit silly. Certainly what we want to do, of course, is just not get hit by bullets. Just try to go as long as we can, do as many stages as we can with minimal damage, and then just show up, final stage, final boss, that whole area, with as much HP as we can. I mean, we've done that before, and that's really been our... that's really been this sort of winning combination. However, it is interesting to know that we, although we haven't necessarily been selecting it, we can do a chapter select, if nothing else for practice. So instead of, running through these first few stages over and over and over, wondering what sort of experimentation we're going to do for the final stage, we could, probably preferably off camera, just do stage 5 in a variety of different ways and just find out what really works, and sort of, attach that to the strategy that we've been doing for stage 1 through 4. I mean, if we can seemingly go with homing missile for the larger part of the stage, for the majority of the stage, just to clean up the mobs and all the popcorn enemies, and then something to some serious DPS like this would for the boss, I think that's kind of where I think that's going to work out just fine. Demolished, easy stuff. Not perfect, I guess, but seems okay enough. Stage 2. And we've seen this stuff. This is not our first video. But hopefully, as I'm saying, this is just, the 4th video. Hopefully this won't turn into the 40th video. But I have a good feeling, We've done harder games. Hell, we've beaten Blue Revolver, god damn it, Yeah, I'm not so sure, really, even despite the fact that we don't have the biggest amount of, or the widest amount of, range with this weapon. I don't know if I'd really change it out for too many other things. I mean, it would probably behoove us. How did we not get hit? What the fuck just happened? Walking through raindrops. Did we get hit? No, I don't think we did. Looking at our life right there. See, that's the type of life we need when we just stand in front of the last boss and just suffer no damage. Oh, say goodbye to your life gauge, by the way. Low key, this Gatling gun is pretty damn good. Probably only second to the laser, I suppose, in like DPS wise. But yeah, the laser does kind of scare me as well. We haven't picked it a whole lot. Primarily just because it's, yeah, you really do have to be just underneath the sort of like the enemy you want to do damage to. It's about as wide as the sprite is for your character. And certainly anything directly above you is taking a considerable amount of damage. Come on. As we take damage ourselves, seemingly stumbling into bullets. However, I mean, it's our first damage, I believe. First or second? God, I should know this. Why is it taking this long to know how many hearts are in a life? We really should probably be on top of that, huh? It would make sense that it would be 5. So yeah, that would be our first. 5 seems like a more natural number than 6, perhaps. So that could have been our first bit of damage. Boss time. Could have gone with the homing, and I think we made the better choice, especially coming up to like this fireworm here, where we have shown time and time again that the homing missile doesn't really bode very well unless we're milking him for the points and want to kill off all his body parts. Oh, this is okay. Good. I'm glad. Showing some patience there, even though we were kind of crunched up against the wall. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, come on down. Come on down. The water is fine. Oh, give me a break. Tell me that's not awesome. Just chewed him up. You can't deny that. You can't deny that this Gatling gun is probably... I mean, we should probably still, yeah, of course, still, like, experiment more. He says, going, I don't know. I mean, granted, that red-tipped missile there, or the red-tipped, like, artillery fire, those are good. And they certainly do have a use. But you have, like I showed you, or like we've done in the previous videos, is that, you have to be rather close. Those are the lasers there on the far left. They have to be sort of mid-range. You can't play like a stinking coward like I do and sitting on the far back at the bottom of the screen and actually do anything. Oh, well, able to sneak by. But those SpongeBob jellyfish are going to cause us a problem all level, I'm afraid, with, I say, do we switch out? Not really a weapon we want. Doesn't really go back as much as we... Some of these yellow laser weapons do. Not this one. However, I mean, it does look like we can kind of use the side of our fire to deal damage, so we can kind of like body them, we can kind of just shoulder block them. Yeah, just please perish. We don't need... Hey, and not even... Yeah, I was like, that's not bad as well. Having these sort of... Yeah, and we can just run them over as well, yeah. A little devious to have all these like turret guys right behind that sort of block, but you know what, this these orbitals are proving to be pretty useful, at least defensively as well. Alright, this area is always pretty stressful. High amount of fire output and not a lot of place to move and be an effective shooter. 1 damage there. But you know what? If that's all we're going to suffer, that's going to be completely okay. Hey, and wouldn't you know? That's what I'm talking about. We're probably coming across the end of the stage here. There's no reason to probably start thinking about our boss killing weapon. Strong Girl certainly can take a ton of, ton of fire as well. Try not to get walled here. There we go. See, that cluster of enemies do kind of come up out of nowhere. Going with the homing missiles. I'm not so sure, the time will tell whether or not that's going to be a mistake or not. I think, with the enemies popping around him, perhaps the missiles are a good idea. Especially when they're a little behind, but I'm not so sure we can really rely on the missiles going that far away. But they do seem to be doing just that. At least a good amount of them. And as we know, he doesn't have infinite number of buddies. It looks like 2 backs and 4 forwards. That seems to be about it. Oh, that's too... I don't know. Not the best, certainly. Stage 4. And you know what? These fists are actually probably kind of underrated as well. You got a pretty decent width or range with them. They cover a lot of the screen. I mean, speed sometimes isn't an issue with that, but I think as long as they're still kind of consistent, they're... And they seem to be doing just fine in damage as well. I mean, look at that. We can just kind of sit here. Slightly move here, slightly move there. But yeah, we just sit there for the majority of the stage, just putting down fire. I mean, these little dragons do nothing else besides just block damage to more important targets behind them. Always important to pick up our treasures. Like we were saying, I think that's long-term what's going to beat the game for us. Homing missile, let's go with. Say, this guy certainly does have a lot of little dudes. Oh, poor. How about that? We'll take it. Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, that just stupid as well. Why would you dodge left when you have absolutely no room? Okay, now it's absolute free fall, huh? All right. At least now things are perishing. All right, let's keep it together. 4 lives, 1 heart. We're kind of seeing here that the missiles can be overwhelmed. Later on in the stages, maybe the fists would be better, or some other weapon with a higher fire rate. Choosing not to really go with it though. I suppose we should really wonder if it's really a problem if it only happens rarely in certain areas, you know? Oh, give me a break. Quite the wide fire here. This is going to come across the whole screen. Whether or not these yellow triangles are worth a damn, I'll never know. Ah, oh, come on. And I was just starting to think, like, do we give the little dragons any sort of attention whatsoever? Because as you can tell, that's kind of where we did our damage, is we let that sort of fireball sort of slowly crawl closer and closer, because we kept pulling away and shooting down the little dragons, but treasure hunter. Hey. 2 dragons with 1 stone. Coming across the golem boss. If not right now, pretty soon. Yeah, it looks like right now. Going with the missiles. I think that's kind of a good idea. You know, as much as we'd like to keep this sort of Gatling gun, you know, constant damage on him, he does spawn a lot of little enemies that we probably do need to keep some attention to. Yeah, I'm not so sure that the homing missiles are really going to reach the guys in the back. Although we're kind of seeing right now that the homing missiles are... I don't know, we're just not doing a lot of damage to the boss. You know, I mean, there is just a lot of enemies in front of him. You know, if we're, you know, sort of cleared the path for his body right here, we're doing a considerable amount of damage, but, you know, when he's fully equipped with cronies, you know, we're at a standstill. Alright, just be calm, be calm. Oh, it took damage there. Yeah, we're certainly, yeah, we have killed the golem far before this before. Perhaps just 1 damage, but yeah, we made that a lot harder than it needed to be. Best score clear? Yeah, because we sat around and milked the boss. I don't know. Or maybe we didn't. Maybe we did really good. I don't know. It didn't feel right. I felt we've beaten the boss a lot faster than that before. I was like, given a lot of good choices of weapons, but going with this one, and I'm not sure. I don't know. Sort of wavy noodle weapon seems okay when it comes to damage. But we do want something, at least on the temporary, that can shoot behind us. At least in our wisdom, we know that the monkey bomb area is happening in this level at some point. But whether or not we really need to, dedicate any sort of strategy to it, is the question, I suppose. We're certainly not getting game overed on it, or losing a lot of life. But I suppose if we're trying to smooth out things and iron out the kinks, that certainly was an area, at least a run or so ago, that really sort of beat us up. Oh, it's just so bad how many... Look at how it's just blocking everything we're firing. Oh, well, of course. Of course, now we're coming across, like... yeah, now it... man. It cannot be understated just how brutal some of those, those green walls are. We need to keep a constant fire going. That's exactly what we want, at least for this area here. Yeah, we need to keep a constant barrage of weapon or fire so these enemies don't pile on. And yeah, we have a weapon that's perfectly countered by those walls, and then suffer a couple damage because of it. I mean, are those monkeys just walking off the stage anyway? They come up and just take that right or left? I mean, we're handling things pretty well right here. This weapon certainly can be handy shooting things from behind and forward. I mean, ultimately what we probably want is that sort of all-directional fire. At least for the short term. But yeah, if those monkeys just walk up and shoot you a little bit and then walk off the screen, then I don't even know if this is a problem to even address and worry about. It really could just be filed under, concern number one, don't get hit by bullets, Hands. And unlike being blocked, we can hit both these guys with hands. At the same time, as I was saying. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's getting so close, but yeah, some of these, fire enemies are shooting these little bursts of fire and getting really close, but... Blasted ghosts. Oh, come on. Down to 2 lives now. Keep it with the hands. Strong girl still keeping clear. All right, good. I was like, can we do it? Can we kill that guy off? Hey, does that mean? I think we just got another one up for our next run. So yeah, always get your treasure. Get your treasure. This area is handled quite easily. Yeah, that other bug can just screw right off. I mean, we're talking about survivability. We're not worried about all the points in the world. Something is firing some nice clusters of bullets, but perhaps it was those bouncing bomb guys. Second half of the level 5 stage, which really does feel like 2 or 3 normal stages stacked on top of each other. Yeah, I mean, let us say now and forevermore that the this fist weapon isn't overrated, but actually just like really good, and we probably should be using it, you know, when we can. You know, I would even say maybe Gatling gun for boss, and then like fist weapon for level. I think that would probably be okay, you know. You know, we've had some good times with the homing missile, but we have found, you know, there's sometimes that, yeah, the bosses in particular, you know, you just cannot rely on the homing missile to do a lot of damage for you. Working out our dodges here pretty okay. Just don't want her to lead us in a bad position where we can't dodge and get walled or something. Oh. Alright. That last one was a little tricky though. Quite a hard turn to the left. Oh, give me a fucking break. Just stand there. Ah. And certainly now is the time you really think that these little dragons are doing absolutely nothing besides making sure the larger enemies do not die. Ah. We are suffering real bad. Keep it together. Keep it together. Alright, alright. Okay dodges, okay dodges. Jeez. Bored the spaceship so much I just walked away. Going with the homing missile. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. And I think it's becoming more and more evident that, like, it gets overwhelmed, you know, or easily overwhelmed. I think later in these stages, it's not even killing the enemies, the number of enemies it really needs to be doing. Ah, man. Yeah, more enemies are coming around faster than our homing missiles can go out there and kill them. Alright, there goes that one. Come on, no more damage. Keep it together. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say this weapon is the best, but, you know, just to quickly get out of these tough areas as quick as we can, this is the weapon to do it. Oh my god. Ah, come on, come on. All right, I guess he's dead too, and we've made it out somewhat unscathed. And I think technically this is the furthest we've gotten. So 3 lives and a excuse me, 3 hearts and an extra life here. And you know, with the mini version of the boss, with his little cronies there, we're not necessarily going to need a lot of wide range. We just need the DPS. Jesus, how did we not get hit there? All right, good, good. Get out of here. And hey, another achievement for getting the bosses done. Do we switch it up? Do we switch it up? All kinds of different options for weapons, which makes me a little worried that we really should. But I'm pretty confident this weapon does a lot of damage, and that's, you know, going into uncharted territory, that's what we want. Just to rely on dodging and doing a ton of damage. Final boss. Let's go. Alright, we are doing damage. Little fire guy. Or a little angry emoji. Or perhaps like the polar opposite of us. We're like a little happy Tawashi guy, and this is like a little angry Tawashi guy. Alright, so we can take care of the clones as he's growing bigger in size. Not giving us a lot of space to prepare for his crap as he's just coming down on us. I'll tell you what, you know what we should have grabbed if it was available, is that sort of mid-range artillery weapon. Come on. Fuck, it's not there. Last life, 5 hits. That's what we want. We want that. Oh my. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Oh, Christ. Who knows? Maybe that was it right there. No. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. That hurts. We could have done it. But you know what? That was our first time just reaching the final boss there. So, yeah, you know, another lesson to learn. Another challenge to, you know, to accomplish, I suppose, if we're thinking positively about it. But yeah, we need to get there with that sort of, with that nuke or that artillery blast. That's how we're going to get through that. But yeah, that'll do it for this run. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And we'll come back and play more in the future.